Hello, is Lindsay here? Just wondering.
Present.
Hello. Present.
Present.
All right, before we start, I just want to do some shout outs. Anybody have any shout outs they want to make?
I have my brand new coach in here.
Who that? Oh,
Deanna.
I got Courtney Wallach. I see you. Hello. Who else is first time? Hi, Tiana. Who else first call? Amanda. Hold on, I'm looking at the name. Just keep your hand up. Hey, Lindsay. Wow. This team's getting very popular. I have a shout out. Kasha is going to be Emerald on Thursday. That is huge.
Yeah, Kasha.
I know. She literally did it. I think, was it on Thursday? She was like, I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to shut you out on Thursday. She's like, Thursday, Schmersday. So proud. Brand new coach. Literally just signed up. And then Kayla Landrum, I was just on our first call 1 second ago, right before this. As soon as she signs up her husband this week, probably today or tomorrow, she will be Thursday, Emerald on Thursday. So that's huge. Brandon.
Yes.
Brand new. And then I wanted to say, if you are on the East Coast, I will be coming home for Shirley's funeral. It's Thursday. Danielle, are you on the call? Thursday, I think it was 11 to 1 or something like that. So obviously, like, if you're on the team, Shirley would love if you were there. So I will be there and probably going to be doing some lunch or drinks after. And then also Super Saturday just so happens to be that Saturday. It's sold out, but I'm totally sneaking in, just saying. I can probably sneak you in as well. And so also there's Super Saturday or Super Weekend, they're calling it now, everywhere around you. So no matter where you live, look up like Google or go to the FAQ, like Super Weekend Around Me or something like that, and you'll find yours. I would totally make sure to get there. They always usually have like an awesome speaker. I know in Boston they're having Jericho. She'll be there. I don't know who the speaker is right now, but does anybody know? I have no idea. But Jericho's there. That's all I really care about right now.
Jeff Matthews.
Oh, really? He's cool. I like him.
Yeah.
And then, so make sure to get to those. Very important to show like you're following, that you're not in this alone. You have a community and like you're growing, you're getting out of your comfort zone and you're learning and you're taking this business seriously. Cool, Kelsey. And then I wanted to remind you guys about the promo codes. If you are an active coach, you should have a promo code. So go to your email if you haven't, and just literally in the search bar, right, Beachbody promo code, they give it to you. If you're an active coach, they give you 3. If you signed up like your husband or whatever, you should have 6. So give those away. Just say in your Instagram story that you're the next 6 or 3 people that fills out your application or sign up with you. You're going to give them $10 off or give them your promo code or whatever you want to call it. Voucher. I don't know what you want to call it, but I'm just calling it a promo code. I literally just screenshotted my email saying, hi, Haley. We're giving you 3 promo codes basically. So I just wrote, I'm going to give them away. If you guys.
Haley, not to cut you off. Did we ever find out if you can use your spouse account under your own or no? Do we not know yet?
I don't know that.
I don't know either.
Does anybody know that?
Okay.
Because I saw that.
Because that would
Sorry.
be awesome.
No.
I haven't personally tested it out, but somebody on my team has, and you can use, it doesn't have to be your account. So you can use your husband's on yours and it should work.
Awesome. Thank you.
Welcome.
That's what I thought, because somebody like another coach that I know, she was like, I'm messaging my discount coaches, and if they're not working the business, I'm going to ask them for their codes. And I was like, well, that's freaking kind of smart. But so yeah, I guess that's cool. Good to know. Thank you, Siobhan. So that's cool. I made a little list on my Instagram story saying like promo code giveaway, and it had 6, like numbered 6, and I'm going to post their Instagram handle once they sign up with me and take it. So that's cool. I'm saying there's 10 spots available for my next group and 6 promo codes. So first 6 people are getting $10 off. But just to remind you, if they're joining you with MM100, they're getting $30 off of MM100, because next month, I'm not shitting you, it's going to go straight back up to 180 for that challenge pack. So this month only, they're going to get $30 off with that promo code, which is huge. They're going to get all the program materials and the stuff they need to do that program with you. Let's see. I think that was it. So I'm so excited. Actually, Lindsay is probably going to do a couple calls for us, because like I love all those topics that we talked about in the team page yesterday, and actually she came up with all of them. I just wanted to surprise you today, that's all. So this topic is awesome. I got to stay with Lindsay at Summit, and if you don't even know, she basically created all of her posts for us. We were all like freaking out. We have no time to think about a post. And I'm like, Lindsay, she could just, as top of her head, just come up with a really like a mic drop that matters. So I'm really excited to learn how, because my brain, it's tough to think that like that. So Lindsay, you can go right on.
All right, guys. Hi, how are you? I feel like I love being able to see so many more faces and be like, I saw you in person. I love that. All right, so I'm going to just like hop right into it, because I made a PowerPoint, and because, I've been making PowerPoint since I was 8. It's embarrassing. I just need to be organized. So I'm just going to hop right into it and share my screen. So let's do it to it. And just so you guys know, this is more of a content style training versus hashtags and stuff like that. So I'm really excited. Can you guys not see like the bottom part of this? I'm wondering. You can't. I might just go through it in my, let's see what the chat says.
Yeah, I can see that perfectly now. I just couldn't.
Okay, I might just do it like this. Just don't read ahead, because I want you guys to be able to see everything that's on the screen. Okay, so this is how to pair a scroll stopping picture with a caption that makes an impact. I'll do a little zoom action though. All right, so ready to let the dogs out? Because seriously, guys, this type of training is exactly what I kind of wish that I had when I first started. I learned everything just as I went. I do have a background in fashion communications. So that's basically like marketing, PR with the realm of fashion in the corporate world. But I wanted to kind of give you an overview of what we're going to be going over today. So what you should already know. So there are a few things I'm not going to touch on at all, because as a working coach, I'm expecting that you're already doing these things, these things, but I'm just going to touch on them so you can screenshot it silently in case you're not already implementing them. We won't judge. We're also going to go over what is your brand, because that is what Instagram is really all about. And don't let that B word, don't let it, what am I looking for? Intimidate you. I know a lot of people are like, I don't have a brand, but I promise you do. So we're going to break down what a scroll stopper actually is. We're going to do a caption crash course, and then we're going to put all together. Okay? All right. So these are the things that you should already know. Your social media is your storefront. Showing up daily is a non-negotiable, you guys. These are things, this is just the facts. If you ghost social media, your social media following will ghost you right back. So please don't miss a day, even if you're just showing up on your stories. Your page should be set to public. So if your page is a private coach page, I can't tell you how thrown I am whenever I message a follower and invite them to the opportunity. They're like, I'm a coach too. I'm like, would have had no idea. So don't be that girl. You have a Facebook business page that's linked to your account. So you should do this. That way you can put a link in your bio and have some applications in there once you get the, I don't know, once you get some traction going on your Instagram, you should have a link in there, and you are allowed to have fun on Instagram. So just in case you guys didn't know, you're allowed to stumble, you're allowed to fail forward, you're allowed to be your true, authentic self, okay? So What is your brand? I'm using myself as an example here because I want you guys to, after this call, not right now, you're going to take out a piece of paper and number from 1 to 6. And you're going to identify your 6 brand identity points. So for me, like I just talked about, my background is in fashion. That's what I wanted to do ever since I was little. So fashion is a huge part of my brand. Outfit of the days, bridal. I work for a bridal store. I get to try on all their dresses for their social media. So I just kind of like double dip and put some of the pictures on mine. Life by the water. I live near the beach. I love the lake. That is what like just makes me feel so complete, is being near water. So that's in the backdrop of a lot of my pictures. Fitness and transformation. So that's another one. Because for me, before I started Beachbody, I actually didn't realize I followed a lot of coaches because of their transformations. I had no idea they were Beachbody coaches. They weren't name dropping any programs at that time. I was, everything was kind of like very low key. This was back in like 2016. But their transformations are what drew me to their page, kept me coming back, and I wanted to see them progress and grow. The community, you guys, the community is something that I was so surprised by. It's something that I was not looking for when I joined Beachbody. I really just wanted to lose weight. And the community is something that I try to highlight, with pictures of the team and pictures maybe with one coach like together, because first of all, then it makes it real, right? Like I posted that in the team page the other day about going to Summit. Like it just shows people that these connections are real, these relationships are real, and so is this opportunity that you're offering them, whether it's coaching or the boot camp. So I always try to highlight community. I'm a foodie and a firm believer in 80-20 life. I lived off of Tots in Indianapolis, Tots and tequila. And that's fine, you guys, because 80% of the time, my feed is healthy foods. I'm the salad queen. I'm making salads, salmon every day. But I will also show when I'm eating maybe a full pizza or some tequila or something like that, because I want people to know that it's a lifestyle. You don't have to cut things out. I want my page to basically be a sneak peek of what this lifestyle is. Memes. I enjoy making people laugh. Like, to the core of me, it makes me happy. I like being happy. I send memes to my friends all the time. It's part of who I am. So I'll always throw up a meme here and there. You can't see, but this one right here says, you can't spell menu without me and you. So what's up, baby? I love that one. That's like gold. So when you think about your brand, you have to think about the colors of your brand. Like say you were opening your own storefront, like you would have a logo and the colors would represent you. So what are your colors? Like if you were to look in your closet right now, just like open the door, what kind of colors do you see? Is it mostly neutrals? Are you like all over the place, like rainbow, bright, everything under the sun? For me, I'm super neutral all the time, but I love like being able to look sun-kissed. Like I love having highlights in my hair. I self-tan myself like way too much. Like I just love looking like I've been on a vacation. That's like, they'll get this highlighter. It's too much, but I love it. So that is definitely like my color aesthetic. And then when I think about angles, I do a lot of straight on posts. Again, I think that comes from like being inspired by fashion and, wanting people to see my outfit from head to toe. Cause like, I don't always get out of spandex. And when I do, I want you to see it. So that is, I think, why I post so many of my pictures like that. So these are the things to think about, you guys. After this call, think about your brand identity points, name 6 of them. Think about the colors that represent you. Like literally, don't do the colors that you wish did. Like what really do you wear, And then what angles? Look at your feed. What kind of angles are you typically taking your pictures at? I guarantee they're a lot more similar than you think they might be. Pro tips. All right. So guys, these 6 brand identity points, this is going to be the information that is maybe your Instagram highlights, because that's literally what people will come to you for, whatever are your brand identity points. And they're also what you should be representing in every 6 posts. If you think about 6, the 2 rows of 3, guys, if you just do, okay, Monday, I'll do fashion. Tuesday, I'll do life by the water. Wednesday, I'll do lifestyle fitness. You have basically Monday through Saturday of your content calendar filled out just by understanding and knowing what your brand identity points are. So the next time you say, I don't know what to post, look at that list, be like, what haven't I represented in a hot second? And you'll have something right away. So Then when you think about your colors, this is the filter that you should use or find. So for me, I needed something that would complement the fact that I'm literally always in white and denim. And I also needed something that would just have a little glow to it. So I found a filter, and I'll talk about that in just a second, that complemented that, and also that like didn't make food look crazy colors, because sometimes that can be an issue too. And then the angles that you typically do, the opposite of that will be scroll stopping, because people will not expect that from you. You're doing something that you don't normally do. It sounds so simple when you put it like that, but then when you actually do it, you'll see the return with, in terms of engagement and likes and people clicking that link in your bio. So I'm going to call some people out during this presentation. Hope you don't mind, Siobhan. She's like, why did I meet her at Summit? Okay, so I chose Siobhan because her feed is not like mine at all, and it's not in a bad way. It's in a great way. I love Siobhan's feed. It is so colorful. It's so bright. So at least filter-wise, it's completely different than mine, right? I'll just do a little bit of this. Look how different. Her pictures really pop off the page, and mine are more muted. That's just who I am. Not like really verbally. I kind of do talk a lot, but other than that. So if you look at her brand identity points, she has recipes and food like every 3 posts, like every 3rd post. She's, the head of a household. She's momming, she's wifing. Those are things I do not do. So I can't talk about that on my feed. That has nothing to do with my brand. She's killing it with her transformation. She's talking about the community, grocery hacks, and she's sprinkling in a little fitness here and there. She's, the to-be mindset queen. So really her focus is that nutrition. So she's doing everything right, but she's also saying like, hey, if you want, to bump up your results, I'm doing this, you can do it with me too, but So, and her angles, again, they're very straight on, and she does like these point of view plate pictures. So if I were to say like, what would be like super scroll stopping for Siobhan, it's like do something like she's not doing yet, which is like have a picture with like maybe her face in it and the food that she's eating. Like that would be something that her followers wouldn't expect. It would kind of mess up the feed a little bit, because I know you have that pattern going, but it would be totally unexpected, totally new, and that would just be something that I think would work as a scroll stopper for her. So let's talk about filters, right? Because you're going to look at your brand identity points after this call. We're not talking about that right now. But we're going to think about if you either have a filter that you're not really in love with or you don't have one yet. These are some popular apps that you should be using, because guys, I cannot tell you how important it is to have a cohesive filter on your page. It's just going to look like a scrapbook if you don't. So it looks so professional. It looks so nice. And I highlighted Morgan and Kimberly Fabry right here, because I actually just messaged Morgan the other day. I was like, by the way, your Instagram is lit. I love it. So what I love about both of them is that their filters, like if I was just on my explore page, they would stand out to me and be like, that looks like Kim's pic, or like that looks like Morgan's picture, without even knowing that it's them. So it's so identifiable. It is totally a brand moment for them. So I listed some here. So guys, Visco, Adobe Lightroom, and Snapseed, I think those are the most user-friendly ones that I've come across so far. And I use Visco, but I also use Snapseed from time to time just to touch up a picture color-wise. Like if you want the water to look more blue, if there's a weird shadow that you want to like add a little bit more exposure to, you can do that with that app. So sometimes I'll toggle back and forth between the two. How do I find my perfect filter? Okay, guys, so I didn't know this until like a few months ago, but you can literally search Pinterest for recipes. I might be late on the uptake, but if you go on Pinterest and you're like Visco filter recipes, you can basically have this whole library, and they will tell you this is how much saturation for this type of filter. This is how much saturation you should have. Put the highlights here. Do this, do that. Save it. Spend like the $1.99 to upgrade your Visco or something, and so you can save that recipe and then have it. And then, guys, putting a filter on your picture takes 2 seconds, and you can just spend more time focusing on your caption. So if you're trying to do this right now, screenshot your camera roll of unedited pictures and edit that image of the screenshot to see what your feed would look like with that filter on it. I went back and forth between a few. Like I said, I just recently changed mine. I love it. But I went back and forth between a few, and that really helped me. So when it comes to filters too, you guys, the last thing is the most important thing to keep in mind, and that is that there is a level of realness that needs to be maintained when it comes to your images. And I'm not just talking about the colors, but I'm kind of also talking about like touching up, like blurring, softening, the retouching. Those things will make people stop their scroll, but not for the right reasons. It's 2019. Everything is shot on an iPhone 100. And the resolution is incredible. So if you have a picture that's like weirdly blurry for whatever reason or too soft, then people are going to be a little turned off by it just because it's not what we're used to. It's not what we visually want to see, even if your message is great. And that would be heartbreaking if you have a great message and the picture isn't at that same level. So let's break down what a scroll stopper is. Okay, so we're talking about you know your brand now, you know the filter you're going to use. So let's talk about what makes a scroll stopping image. So in my opinion, as I was going through what makes me stop my own scroll is there's three things: the illusion picture, the transformation, and the action shot. So the illusion, this picture of Haley and Patrick, this was awesome. This got over how many? 1,800 likes. And it's because it was so different. It was creative. It was unique. I just wrote it there. But without being too crazy or too optical. It wasn't confusing, but it made people be like, what is happening there? When did Haley get tatted and when did she get so jacked? So the transformation, this is eye-catching in this picture specifically because Michelle used the same outfit. So that is so important when it comes to transformations, you guys. I can't tell you enough. Even if it's sports bra and shorts and a different sports bra and shorts, if it's the same one, it'll scroll stop 50% more, and that statistic is made up. But it's just I always notice my engagement is outrageous when I'm in the same outfit. So I always try to do that. I'm I never throw clothes away, and I really need to, but I can't. So I'm I need a picture in that. So it just shows how authentic the transformation is. Action shots, so eye-catching. First of all, in this picture specifically, the contrast between the black clothing, the white background, the shape that her body's making. And even if you can't do that, you guys, any type of action shot, it took me a long time to figure out this jump. So even if you can't do that, guys, any type of motion action shot that's not too blurry is eye-catching because Instagram is so posed these days that if you just have something that looks a little different, a little bit in motion, a little bit, maybe a little messy, a little imperfect, like this, you can see her feet are a little bit blurry. She's jumping. It's just different and people respond to that. The bottom line, they all got creative and had fun with these pictures, you guys. Do not take this too seriously. Be serious about making an impact, but don't be too serious about the brand. Oh my God, Siri thought I was talking to her. I said serious and she was like, I'm listening. How about now? Basically, guys, in these three pictures, there are no obscure MySpace selfie angles, right? We're leaving that in the past. You can see their faces, you can feel their energy, and energy is something too that's so important, you guys. It's important to be able to feel it through an image, but it's also really important to be able to feel it in your stories. I'm not really going to talk about Instagram stories because again, this is more like a content for your posts type of call, but energy in your stories is so important and you will attract the energy that you put out there. So just remember that, because if I'm talking about a product launch, I'm yeah, it's really great. And I think it's going to be fun. You want to do it? It won't attract as many people as I'm guys, there is a new product launching, a new program. It's going to be amazing. Who's doing it with me? It's just different energy. And I would prefer to attract the second, in my opinion. So let's go to a caption crash course, okay? So caption crash course, your first two sentences matter the most. I structure my posts, there's always a word or two short words that are right at the top in brackets because I want people to focus on that the most and then read on from there. And they'll still under that see my first two sentences, but make sure that those are attention grabbing. So I gave you an example of what's intriguing. So, and these are all things that I've written before. So I just took them from myself. So more intriguing. To the girl who saves #Fitspo to get inspired. Someone who saves Fitspo to get inspired will be like, yes, I'm listening. If you post, I'm in need of some inspo today, she's going to keep scrolling because she is too. And she's going to scroll until she finds that inspiration. So talk to the person that you want to attract directly sometimes. It will grab their attention, and obviously, like, don't alienate, anything like that. But, just be like, hey, like, speak to the person that you were before you started Beachbody, and that's the girl who you're going to attract through these posts. So those two lines also determine the tone of the post. So what's this going to be? Is this going to be like a fluff, fun post, which you shouldn't really do until you hit Success Club? Just pro tip again, because you should be inviting. Is this a story of overcoming a vulnerability, a struggle that you're currently navigating? Is this an exciting launch or like an exciting non-scale victory, so you can like have a little bit more energy about it? And if you're stuck on what to actually post as far as content, you guys, there are struggle web trainings that are like sprinkled throughout like a lot of the coaching push groups that we've done. So feel free to refer back to them, or ask your coach directly. They'll know what you're talking about if you're like, what is a struggle web? So what's more intriguing as far as tone goes? For anyone who needs to hear this right now, you are not an influencer. Have you seen that meme? So that to me is intriguing, because I'm like thinking about like, who's potentially my biggest hater out there, who's like, she thinks she's an influencer. And when they see that, they're gonna be like, okay. So we're on the same page. So I was thinking that would be super eye-catching. And I love to kind of like nicely call out things that are out there. Because let's be real, people are talking about MLMs. Like, it's not a secret. It's not like a secret business. Like, it's very much real. Almost everyone is doing it. So let's talk about it and let's like be transparent. I think that transparency about what we do, when you talk about that in your post, like it resonates so much with people, because they're like, okay, like there's really nothing to hide here, because there isn't, luckily, with us. But they'll keep scrolling if you just say something like travel can really get you. It's like, wah, wah, like that tone, bye. That's not what I need if I'm on Instagram looking for inspiration, motivation. That's like, misery loves company. So your last two lines, you guys, they're equally as important as your first two lines, because how boring is it? And I am so guilty of it from time to time, being like, link in bio for more details. Keep scrolling. Like that would not make me personally like click on anyone's link, no matter what they said. I'm like, okay, maybe later I'll remember to do that, and I won't actually go and do it. Would be way more intriguing is if I said something like, I didn't just purchase the tools and let them sit on the shelf. I use them every day to get here. If I gave you the same ones, would you join me? Would you join me? I had a typo, sorry. But saying something like that, like that's showing versus telling. And this is like a writing tool that I think a lot of us learned in school, but maybe we forget sometimes because we take our captions too seriously, is to show versus tell. And that means like show someone how to do something or why they would want to do something versus just telling them to do it. And that's something that I try to do a lot in my posts, whether I am doing a call to action like this, whether I am like just writing about like maybe how I felt before. Like instead of saying like before I started Beachbody, like I could totally say like I was really gaining a lot of weight and I was uncomfortable in my skin. Or I could say like, I went to a football game one time and I couldn't believe that I couldn't button my favorite pair of jeans. There was nothing more defeating than that. And I wore a turtleneck and I was sweating the whole time. Like painting the picture and like having people be like, I've been there, instead of just being like, oh yeah, I gained a few extra pounds. Like it really was uncomfortable. Like it shifts the whole post to be way more personal and way more relatable. So ideally, you'll have a balance of all of these tones throughout your feed. So you'll have something lighthearted. You'll have like an overcoming of vulnerability. Maybe something you're currently struggling with, excitement. Like we're humans. We have complex emotions, and it's good to show a spectrum of them, right? And remember that your mess is your message. But as a coach or as a mindset mentor, or whatever you want to describe yourself as, you need to offer a solution. And this is one of my biggest pet peeves when it comes to posts, is if people just complain and they end it there. Because guys, we are supposed to be doing personal development every day. We are supposed to be the ones that people are coming to with answers. And we are supposed to be the ones that even if we don't know the answer yet, we have to be on our way to figuring it out. And we have to be doing that self-work, because if we're not, then we're not growing our minds, we won't be growing our businesses, and we won't be growing a following of people who come back to us every day, maybe if they're at a low point, or maybe if they just need that extra push of motivation, inspiration, because they're not going to find it from us if we're not working on ourselves every single day. So let's put it all together for one bomb a post, okay? I don't know if there's any kids in the room, so I don't want to swear. I don't know if I have already. I might have. I kind of don't really pay attention. So let's start with our image. This is an image that I am going to post. So I thought we would do like a live exercise where we just, come up with the caption together. So this is an image that I'm going to be posting. So you start with that, right? You have a picture. You're like, great. I took a picture. It works with my brand, right? Because part of my brand is being on the water, and I put my filter on it. So it looks like sun-kissed, a little glowy. And then I think okay, what kind of energy is coming from this picture? I'm like, okay, well, I wouldn't say it's necessarily excitement. You can't really see my face. I don't know what the chat's saying. I'm going to have to look at that after. But I'm like, okay. So you can't see my face. I don't really look excited. I look a little serious. I have a little claw hand action, but I'm going to push through it because the rest of the picture is really dope. So I'm like, I can't. So I think about the energy coming through it, and all I can see is people laughing, you guys. Hold on. I'm focusing. So I think the energy coming from this post is it looks very serene. It looks definitely an action shot. So it's going to catch someone's attention, hopefully. And I just feel like it's a little bit more serious than a post of me being collagen. So if I were to say, okay, that's the energy. So what does my feed need right now? Does it need fluff? Does it need inspiration? Does it need story time? So I'd look at my feed and see what I've written about lately. And I really don't have a short and sweet post lately. I've been doing a lot of longer stories because I want to attract people to the boot camp that's coming up. I'm starting it sooner than I thought I would. It's on the 29th versus 2 weeks from now. And so I'm write it out, honey. So I noticed that in this picture, and this is something that you guys should do too. Don't just take a picture, write a caption that has absolutely nothing to do with it. Okay? So write a caption that alludes to something that's going on in the picture. I took a picture at Summit where all of us had sunglasses on. I was all shades on, but nothing shady here. Talk about what's happening in the picture because it makes it real. So I noticed that in this picture, my chest is a little puffed out. So thanks, Joel. And so I wrote if you don't get it off your chest, you'll never be able to fully breathe. So maybe I'll just do something like that, and maybe I'll tie in a little something about how I love that coaching is an outlet for me to be creative, or if you feel there's something you're going through and you can't navigate it, maybe this boot camp is the answer for you. I'll decide which I want to invite to, and then I will finish that post, but that's going to be my attention grabber sentence right at the beginning. Something else, guys, I was talking to my coach Cassie about this, but an angle that I'm taking with my post lately that I think would be great for everyone to do is to use the 80-20 rule, and that is have 80% of your posts dial back to coaching and 20% of them dial back to the boot camps. Because truthfully, I do feel a lot of us on our stories, and I feel we're really successful at this, so it's if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I feel our stories are great opportunities to talk about the boot camps. We're working out, we're sharing our food, we're sharing the lifestyle, right, of what it means to be in a health and wellness community. But in our posts is where we can really grab people's attention with these scroll stopping images and be able to invite them or talk about the coaching lifestyle. This picture was taken on a Wednesday. I very well could have made it hashtag on a Wednesday, never would have been able to be out here in my favorite place if it weren't for coaching, something like that. So I think that if we start to, shift our gears a little bit, I think that we can attract more people to business, which I think is what ultimately, like, we want to help people on their journeys, but we also want to help people on their financial and their spiritual and, their journeys to be able to provide for themselves and their families. So to be able to, do a business building post more often and more seamlessly. So that's what my team is going to start doing. So I'm really excited about that. Questions? So if anyone has any questions, I haven't read the chat yet. I'm nervous, guys. I don't know what's happening, but I'm going to stop the share. But please let me know if you have any questions.
That was awesome. Wow. Thank you so much. Round of applause, everyone. Yes. Yes. Questions, anyone? Don't be shy. This is the time. We get the marketing master here. Stephanie, you asked, there was a question about, it was like, how do you change your font to go on Instagram? I literally just Googled fonts for Instagram, and you just copy and paste it right there. Super simple. Any other questions? Come on, Nat.
Sorry, there's actually an app called Fonts that I use, and it goes into your keyboard. So you know how you switch over to emoji? You can switch over to that font too.
Thank you. Yeah, I like doing that for I like doing that sometimes. There's also I remember I wanted to space out my writing sometimes. Say if you're this is what you get. If you're 1K on-demand workouts, 30 superfood shakes, you want to bullet point. Instagram won't let you do that unless you go through a certain app thing. So for me, I just Googled spacing for Instagram. Found it.
So I just saw a question from Stephanie. She said, how do you transition into having a more pulled together feed? Do you just start and leave all your old posts the way that they are? So this is something that if you're just starting out, you guys, there are two options, and I don't think one's right. I don't think one's wrong, but you can start a brand new Instagram for your fitness. I think that's harder. You're starting from the ground up. That's what I did. I didn't start with the Instagram that I had, but I think that a lot of people do. And I think what's really cool about starting with the Instagram you have is that your followers can really watch your journey from day one, and they are able to, just see your evolution. And it just, again, super authentic. It's super real. So I would say that if you're not interested in starting a new Instagram, just leave it the way that it is and let people literally be able to scroll back and watch I know Haley, you can scroll back on your Instagram, right? And see some OG posts.
Yeah. I was talking to a new coach earlier, Kayla, and she was like, I just, whatever. I'm like, you don't start off awesome. Let me tell you that, because if you did scroll, I hope to God you would not. I was holding Shakeology like it was my baby. It was not cute, but it just shows she started though. You know what I mean? You got to start somewhere.
All right, I have a question. All right, this has to do with the length of your posts. Do you think that it's important to have I don't know, I feel like all your posts are probably a paragraph, a solid paragraph. But I feel like my posts are too long. I don't know.
So I think that I'm a firm believer in variety. It's the spice of life, right? So I think that it's really good to have some posts that if you have a story to tell it and use every word that you need. But I think that sometimes it's good to be able to, if you write a post out and you look at it, and I helped someone with this the other day, I helped Kim with it. She had this amazing long post written out, and I was like, this can actually be 2 posts. So by just going back and rereading it and being am I kind of telling 2 different stories and kind of combining them? And it totally depends on what you're talking about in particular, but I looked at Kim's and I was like, this could be 2 different things, and now you have posts for 2 days versus just a slamming, what am I saying? Post for 1 day. I think I was going to say slam dunk, and that's just so not me. I don't know where that came from.
I can't laugh. Don't make me laugh.
I know, I'm sorry. But I think that, like I said, so it's good to have some long posts, but also I think if you're going to have one of those fluff posts, that needs to be 1-2 sentences max. It needs to be something funny that people can just read, laugh at, double tap, they love you, they love following you, move on, you know? So, so I think that variety is good, but I also think that like, don't be afraid to look at your captions with like a little bit more of like an editing eye if you want to pare them down and be like, can this be two? Because that's kind of awesome.
Yeah, I always do like bullets in between mine. So it's like always like 3 paragraphs with bullets.
Yeah. Well, I also think too that like if you like, I'm a big experimenter too. Like sometimes I'll just like really like let it go and like write a long post and I'll just see like, do people like that? I'll do a bunch of short ones and kind of see what people respond to more, or maybe ask your followers on your story. Like I ask for people's input a lot. I don't do it enough that it would actually change like who I am, but like ask your followers, like, do you guys like reading long posts? Do you actually read them? Or do you guys like shorter posts that you can just kind of skim through? You never know.
I'm doing that.
Yeah, do it to it. Also, one thing that I just wanted to say, because I was just talking to Michelle who had the bomb transformation, but I noticed that right before this call, Kelsey posted a transformation too, and I was bummed I didn't have time to put it in the slideshow, but Kelsey Gobbin, correct myself, just did a transformation post that was more of an internal transformation, and I just wanted to like highlight that and just, if you guys haven't seen it yet, go to Kelsey's profile, but it was just as powerful as a physical transformation post. So sometimes if you don't have the physical to show, then there's always emotional to talk about, and I think that that's super important too.
I loved how you talked about like the picture, like the energy of the picture, because you can't, that's everything, honestly. So you post a picture of yourself like all happy, but you're having like the worst day ever. It doesn't make any sense at all. So you got to like go, you know, with your feelings, emotions, what you got to say, the picture has to match it. So that's how whenever I'm looking at my pictures, I'm like, okay, so I look like, you know, a certain way. And so what energy needs to go around this? Like what, you know, and then I start creating the post, you know.
I had to struggle with that because I post all of my pictures super happy, like smiling and posing. And this week I lost my best friend. And so I had to be like, oh, how do I even post? Like that was a struggle. Like this week I didn't even know how to post. And I had to like just freaking like sit down and be like, I can't even smile for this, and take a picture of myself, like not how I want to present myself to the world, but what I was truly feeling. And those posts get more comments than anybody because it's out of my norm, because Danielle always smiles.
Yeah, because it's the opposite of what you usually do, what Lindsay was just saying. So I'm like, I need to look and try to do something the opposite of. I remember one time, like I hardly ever wear like lipstick. I remember one time when I had blonde hair, I just like threw on the dark, like wicked pink lipstick on, and my hair was up like crazy, and it got so much love and attention because I never wear lipstick. You know, everyone's like, what does she have to say? Like it's something that, just try to think of things that make you stop scrolling, first of all. And then also do poses and things that are a little bit different once in a while to stop and catch people's attention. Like if you never wear lipstick, be like, trying something new today, you know?
I also feel like on the flip side of that too, sometimes what I do, because sometimes you come up with a post before you have a picture. So if you come up with a post, then try and find a photo either you already have or take one that's going to align with what you have to say. You know, like Lynn said, you can like take the photo and then like have your post align with your photo, or you can come up with the post first and then you have to like make sure that your photo is going to align with your post, or you're just going to be like, what the hell is this girl even talking about? She's posting a picture of her all happy, yet she's talking about something sad. So obviously, like, just kind of a culmination of what everyone's saying. Make sure that your photo is depicting what you're trying to say within your post, so that people are like, okay, cool, like they're stopping because it's a cool photo, but then it also makes sense with your post.
And I love how you were talking about change the ending of your posts. There's so many different ways you got to think about. We all have to think, and we should like probably share like different ways to end your post besides link in bio, you know. I love, you said something about like, if I gave you the same meal and workout plan, would you want to hold yourself accountable with me too? Something like that.
Right. Like if you're talking in your post about the tools that you're using, offer to give those tools to people. You know, if you're talking about the community, I think Ashley had a post like this, like ended with like, you can sit with us, like something like that. Like those are invites, they're indirect invites, just like link in bio is. That's not telling someone exactly to like, fill out the link in your bio. But I also just saw a question, or Amanda, you said that you struggle so much with social media because you feel like you have nothing inspiring to say. I would say that anytime I feel like that, like I literally open up a personal development book or turn on a podcast, and I know that there's a file in Team Determination that has like this huge list of stuff that you can kind of like tap into, because I think that if you are reading that in the first 10 minutes that you wake up every day is ideal. I think that's like when your mind's the most impressionable, but try to do that and you will have like some serious content to work off of and relate back to your own journey.
Yeah, the only time I feel like I don't have something to post about is if I'm not reading, not meditating, not working out, and not talking to my coaches. If you're not doing the right things, you're not going to want to post. It's not going to be fun. It's not going to feel authentic. So as soon as you start doing the right things, you're just going to want to post, and you're going to find things to post about because you're happier and you're better and you're learning and you're growing. So let's all think of different ways to end it. I'm like, I have to make a post after this. And I'm like, shit. Now I'm pumped. I need to think of the beginning and the ending. If you aren't inspired. Oh, I love that. If you aren't inspired, you aren't going to be inspired. That's like the number one thing I always say that. It's truth.
And the one thing I don't think that I touched on, and I'm just thinking of it now, is that don't compare your page to anyone else's page, because just like you shouldn't compare your fitness journey to anyone else's. Like, guys, I'm on, I'll say chapter 3, year 3 of my fitness journey. So in year 2, chapter 2 of my coaching journey. You can't compare your chapter 1, page 1 to what I'm doing or to what Haley's doing or any other coach that you follow in the business that like maybe you look up to. You just kind of have to like do you and evolve on your own and like let yourself grow into what you are, not to what anyone else is, because there are, you guys were at Summit. If you weren't at Summit, you saw the pictures, 20,000 people, 20,000 coaches. How many thousands of people were there? The one thing that's going to make someone choose you over anyone else is if you show up as your most authentic self and when people relate to you. And even if no one in your everyday life relates to you, if you feel like no one's relating to you in your town or, in your community, people will relate to you here. That's why I love social media. That's why it's your storefront, because that's how you find your tribe and people from all over the world, all over the country who are going to understand you. So if you think that no one does, people do. And it's just up to you to put yourself out there. And, they will come when you're putting out that authentic energy.
Yeah, and consistently. You can't just do it for a week and say nobody likes me. It's like, let's try it for a year and try saying that. There's another thing I wanted to say to find yourself, to make it a little bit easier. I know it sounds crazy, but unfollow other coaches. For a while, I was like, okay, well, I only looked up to a couple coaches and I only saw what they did. And so I was like doing what they were doing and I kind of lost myself. I didn't even know who I was. And I was like, I don't even feel like this is me. It doesn't even sound like me. I wouldn't even post this, but that's all they did. So that's all what I did. And then I was like, this is my business. It's not like, it's my business. I signed up. I really want to say, started from the bottom, now I'm here. So I stopped following people and was just like, I'm going to be 100% myself. And whoever likes me, likes me. Whoever doesn't will unfollow me, and that's fine. Leaves room for the cool people, the people that are just like me. But I don't know, like I literally had to unfollow like Amy Silverman and like Colleen Curtis for a while because I didn't know who I was. So stop. I always say, like, people, they ask me like, how did you get to where you are? I said, I stopped following other people's stories, literally, on their Instagram stories, and created my own, Cool. This was like an amazing call. You guys will definitely be hearing from Lindsay again, I hope. Right, Lindsay?
Yep.
We all appreciate you. You are so amazing, super helpful. And now I need to write my post. I love you all, and have a good night. Bye, Linz. Thank you.